So I've just recently finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and while it is definitely my runner for Game of the Year 2025, I have some thoughts about it, and I don't know if you're gonna like them. What's going on, guys? Clay here, and like everyone, I love me a good story. And while I didn't really get a chance to play Expedition 33 when it came out, my girlfriend got it for me for my birthday, so I've been playing it a little bit since then, which, wow, looking back at that is like 3 months ago. It took me 3 months to finish that game. Shit. I got kids, man. It's hard to find the time. And before we get into the discussion, potential spoilers, because obviously we're talking about the game. What do you reckon? But basically, here are my thoughts. Does it sit as a great game compared to like my favorite games ever? Not really. I had a good time with it, but once I finished Act 2 and I jumped into Act 3, I was sort of like ready for it to end, so I didn't really care about doing any other side quest stuff. Once Act 3 hit, I was like, let's go. Let's finish this bad boy so I can start watching vids on it. And let me tell you, I've been watching some videos on this game. I'm watching so many lore videos, and the more I think about this game, the more I learn about the lore of this game, the more I really love the story. It is easily the strongest part of this game. No story in video games has hit me like this since the first Last of Us game. I finished the first Last of Us game, and at first I didn't even like the way it ended. And then the more I thought about it, and the more I like entered discussions about it, I'm like, this is a fucking masterpiece. And I sort of feel the same way about this game. When I was playing through Expedition 33, there were certain story beats that were happening where I was still sort of like, what the fuck is going on? And I was putting little pieces together, but I feel like I missed some really impactful segments of the story and the narrative because I was just confused. The end of Act 2 just flips the whole thing on its head. Like, what you think is going on, it's just, that's not it. I sort of felt the same about Bloodborne, but you can't deny how good the story is. Like, the end of Act 1, mwah. Me and my girlfriend were like, what the actual fuck? I can't believe they did that to that person. End of Act 2 was really good, but I still kind of like, as I was piecing things together, stuff was happening, and I don't feel like I got a chance to appreciate it. So when I was going back or watching all these videos, and now I sort of like have a really firm grasp of what the fuck is going on, I can really appreciate some of these moments. So I'm probably gonna go back and watch like the key moments and be like, oh, that's right. Like, I don't really feel like I want to go back and replay the game. And that's sort of how I know that this is not really like a great game for me. This is a really good game, but it's not a great game. I don't have any desire to go back and replay it. There's a New Game Plus. Apparently, it's pretty good. I generally don't care about New Game Plus. There's not really many games that I actually go back and replay anyway. Off the top of my head, the only games that I've actually gone back and replayed are Spider-Man 2018, Last of Us, Hollow Knight, Chrono Trigger, a shitload of Pokemon when I was a kid. But generally narratively driven games, I just, once I'm done with it, I'm just done with it. Now, can I say Act 3, even though I was sort of like over it by that point, which I know that alone is gonna get people flooding the comments being like, I can't believe you were done with this game. It's a fucking masterpiece. And I'm glad you like it. Like, I love that you love it. And I enjoyed it, but I mean, like, calm down. It's just funny how, like, Mael sort of turned out to be the villain of her own story, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, if you pick her ending, it's like, oh, this is not good, but at the same time, like, I get it. But I picked Verso's ending because it just made the most sense. Like, with everything that was going on, I'm like, if I was in that situation, like, Verso's ending, it just makes sense. And I feel like Verso's ending has the best send-off to every character. Like, every character gets their flowers. It's the perfect send-off for Mael. She didn't want to go, but she had to go. It was the right thing to do. It was killing her, and she got to make peace with everything once she kind of left the canvas. And when like Monoko and Ciel comes in, and she doesn't really say anything, but there's a moment there between her and Verso and Lune, my girl Lune. The way that she acted at the end of Verso's ending, it's just her. It suits her so much. It was exactly what should have happened. Like, when I went back, and I didn't play Mael's ending, but I watched it, and I was like, I keep calling her Mael, it's Alicia. Damn, don't I even know? Look, I played hours with her as Mael, alright? Shut up. Like I said, narrative was really good, and I really enjoyed how they really kind of tackled the way that different people deal with grief, and I feel like the message of the game was constant throughout the whole thing, even though the narrative kind of flipped on its head. Just really solid writing. Just like, mwah. I really enjoyed the combat, but I I hit a certain point. I think by the time I finished Act 2, I was sort of like, I don't know, I was sort of done with it. Bosses were just having these like massive turns with all these attacks, and all the attacks had like these weird rhythms. It was like, ba ba, oh ba 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 ba. Like if you know, you know, but like that's sort of how I felt. I think I'm just getting old, but my brain was like, bleh. Even though I get why certain enemies like look the way they do, I found that enemy variety in terms of like mainly appearance, I don't know, they all sort of felt the same. They just had different like weapons. I don't know. And a lot of people really love to rave about some of the boss fights in this game, but I don't know, like none of the boss fights in this game really like hit me the way boss fights in some other games did. Like nothing hit me in this game like Red at the top of Mount Silver or Virgil at the end of Devil May Cry 3. That shit was peak. And a lot of people talk about the music in this game, and the music was like really, really good. And I do agree that the music was good, but I sort of felt like because my brain was trying to comprehend what was going on in a lot of these story beats, that some of the music just kind of went over my head. Because the music had a very like opera sort of vibe to it, I don't know, my brain was like interpreting a lot of it as sort of the same. I don't know, like the music was good, but the music didn't hit me like the way that certain tunes in like Chrono Trigger, like to me, like Chrono Trigger is the peak of JRPGs. When I think about Expedition 33 and I think, okay, is it a game that would potentially sit in my like top 10? And I think, okay, Chrono Trigger is like my third favorite game of all time, right? And I obviously have to compare it to that. And I don't know, there's just so many things that Chrono Trigger does. Like I never got bored of the combat in Chrono Trigger. The music was like tunes that stuck in my brain for weeks. And another comparison I make is I liked some of the playable characters in Expedition, but I didn't care about some of them. Lune, oh, she is just the best. I had to have her in my team the whole game. And Versus' story by the end of the game is actually really compelling, but him as a character I found sort of boring. And I get it, he was keeping his cards close to his chest. He was an immortal, lived a life. He wasn't even the real Verso technically, he was like a painted Verso, but like, I digress. To me, Verso seemed boring. And I mean, you could argue that like, if I'm comparing to Chrono Trigger, if I compare him to Chrono doesn't even have a personality. But it's a bit different because there's no actual dialogue. He's like a silent protagonist, so everything sort of functions a bit differently. I don't know, Verso was sort of boring to me. Mael was like, great character arc. Probably, for me, the best character arc in the whole game. And being a character that switches stances, that's something I sort of gravitate to in a lot of games. So her and Lune were like mainstays in my team the whole time. Outside of that, I was like, I'll play Verso because he's got that like sort of Devil May Cry style system, I guess. So like his gameplay was kind of cool, but like I liked CL as a character more, but I didn't like her gameplay. And then I just couldn't give a fuck about Monoko. Just don't care. And then like those are like the only 5 people that you play. And then everybody loves Esquier, and I'm like, I don't know. I found Esquier annoying, honestly. Whereas, like I said, once again, comparing it to something like Chrono Trigger, I loved all the characters of Chrono Trigger. My problem with Chrono Trigger was, how do I narrow it down to a team of 3 because I love everybody so much? Whereas in Expedition 33, I'm like, how do I make a team of 3 when I only give a shit about 2 characters? And I know what a lot of people are going to say, because technically I didn't even do the Simon fight. I thought Simon was like not a secret boss. I thought it was just sort of what happened after you fight Renoir. But like once I'd done the story, I just didn't care. I was like, I might just watch that fight. I just don't care. And like I said, I don't really generally play New Game Plus on these games. And one of my friends was telling me that the New Game Plus of Expedition 33 is where the game really kind of shines, because you get to, not only do you get to go through, and because you know what's going on, you get to experience the story in a whole different way, and it's actually apparently really, really good. Like the combat gets harder, there's so much content to do. I'm pretty sure the game only took me 33 or 35 hours, something like that. But apparently there's enough content to last you easily double that. But I was at a point where I just didn't care. So overall, did enjoy my time with this game. Like I said, it is definitely my game of the year 2025. But honestly, a lot of that is because I just haven't played a lot of the other games. I haven't played Silksong yet because I'm still making my way through Hollow Knight. I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or Hades 2. Still making my way through Split Fiction. So it's sort of my game of the year because I did enjoy it, but I just don't have really many other options. But anyway, I've been rambling for a little bit too long now. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you agree with me or disagree with me on some parts? Please, in the comments, hit me up. Let's have a chat about it. I love talking about gaming stories. It's the coolest thing ever. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for some more goodness. And if you haven't already, you should watch last week's video where I check out some Steam demos from Steam's Next Fest. I played a few. There was some I didn't like, some I liked. But if you want to know more, check that out.